everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a little bit of a different one, but I am going to be talking to you about reusable wipes or cloth wipes. So if you would like to know a little bit more about them, how they work, how easy they are to use, what the upfront cost is it gross, do you get poo everywhere, all of that, and mainly if you want to do something better and save the environment while you do it, then keep watching. So as a bit of background, if you're new to my channel or you just want to know a bit more about like why we've chosen to do this and what like we've used in the past, that kind of thing. I have 3 children. My eldest is about 7.5 years old now, and when I first started as a mum, I used disposable wipes and I used disposable nappies, and it didn't enter my head, to be honest, to do anything else. In fact, back then, anyone that did the whole cloth thing, it was a bit out there, it was a bit hippie-ish, and nobody really concentrated on the environment, and I'm going to put my hands up, I didn't either. And as I progressed as a mother, I've just become more aware about the sort of stuff that we use and making sure that we recycle properly, making sure that we rehome things or like pass them on to someone that can use them rather than just taking things to the tip. And I'm not perfect, and I think this is one thing that we all need to remember. You don't have to do it perfectly, but if you just make small changes, if everyone made one small change, it would have a huge effect on the environment. And I've made several changes over the way, and this is one of them. So when I came on to having my second child, Daisy, who's now 3.5, like cloth was kind of becoming a little bit more popular, and it was on my radar, but because of everything that went on with Daisy initially, because she was quite poorly, I just didn't have the mental capacity. And I think that's one of the things with cloth, is that a lot of us feel like, do we even go down that route, because is it going to be harder? How like much money am I going to spend up front? Like, is it actually going to be sustainable for me and my family? As like, is it going to be practical for us? And I think when you've just had a baby, sometimes the last thing that you're thinking about is changing up your routine. You're just trying to survive, and I think that's quite common for a lot of us. And then when I went on to having Stan, he was my 19-month-old, I was just kind of sticking with what I knew, and that was that. But I did try cloth nappies this time round, so I ordered one from our local council. Depending on where you live, your council might do schemes, so there might be like cloth nappy like kind of like share libraries where you can go and try one or borrow one and see how it fits your baby, and then others just send a cloth nappy out for you to try with a few inserts and see how you got on. But at the time, again, as I mentioned, as a new mum, I just found it really difficult to get my head around. And to be honest with you, I'm like being really honest, I'm disappointed in myself that I didn't pursue it more, and I'm disappointed that I just didn't give it a go. But one thing that I thought I could try was cloth wipes. Now, I have been using cheeky wipes now for over a year. In fact, I want to say it's probably about 18 months ago that I bought them, and at first I just used them at home and I gave them a go. So I started with faces, so cleaning up after, you know, like dirty like mucky meals where they've got like spaghetti bolognese all over the faces or something like that, and then I progressed to using them more and more, and now I also use them out of the house as well. And it's been a game changer because it has saved us money in the long run, and I just feel much better about using them. I also think that they are absolutely fantastic at what they do as well. It's not just a matter of being more environmentally conscious, but they actually do a better job of like cleaning bums and that kind of thing than disposable wipes do. And now we are like full-time users, as I've said. We do send disposable wipes to nursery because it's just more convenient for them, and we can't ask them to change their methods to suit our like preferences, so we just use these at home and out and about ourselves. I also have flannels, like cloths, downstairs in our kitchen, so when the kids get dirty, I wet one of those under the tap and I wash their face and then stick them in the wash. Like, I can give the table a quick wipe over with them afterwards, and it just makes sense to us. So what I have, I'm going to show you the entire set, what you get in it, like how much it costs me and why like I chose this and that kind of thing, and then I will show you like what I do with them every like week or so, just to wash them and how it all works and that kind of thing. So when it came to getting these wipes, the one brand that you hear of quite a lot is Cheeky Wipes. They've done really well in like setting up so that it's easy for parents to use them, and they've got like fantastic little deals available, so you can buy them just for faces initially if you want to. You can buy like top-up wipes if you need them, but I got the beginner's kit, which came with, I would say, about half of these. So it came with about 25 wipes or something like that, and I bought this pack. So in the pack I got like the wipes, I also got the fresh box, so this is where all your clean wipes go in. and then it also came with the mucky box. So this is where all the dirty wipes go in, and in the mucky box you also get a little mesh liner, and this just lines the box basically. So when it's all full and you're going to do a wash, you can take this out easily, and it's got a drawstring so you can tighten it and lift it all out, and then you can disinfect this box ready for its next use. So that's the other thing that you get. And then you also get essential oils. Now these have lasted me really well, although I have to say my mucky mix has nearly gone just because it accidentally spilled because I didn't put the lid on it properly, but that's my fault. And basically they're different blends. So the mucky mix is a blend of lemon and scented tea tree, and this basically stops all those yucky poo smells that you would essentially dread if you open that box after it's full of dirty wipes. And then on the fresh ones you've got a mix of lavender and chamomile, so it's nice and gentle on the skin and soothing, and they're just fantastic. Now when these run out, I can either go to the Cheeky Wipes website and repurchase them from there, or you could just repurchase them from anywhere, because a lot of these blends are quite common and you could probably save yourself a little bit of money that way. So maybe go on eBay or Amazon or like a local health store, so that is up to you. Now as well as that, I also bought an extra pack of wipes because I have 3 children and 2 of them in particular still get quite messy. I've only got 1 in nappies, but it just made sense to have extra so I can put them on rotation if needs be, and then I'm never without wipes. And then what also comes in that set are these, and these are little bags to take out and about. So this is for your clean wipes and this is for your dirty wipes, and you basically just put a few of these pre-soaked wipes in here, take them out and about with you, and because they're so effective at what they do, you probably find that you only need like 1 at a time, whereas sometimes with traditional wipes I've needed like 4 or 5 to get a poo off, but these are fantastic. And the clean bag is just a simple bag that's like waterproof and it has a drawstring at the top, but then the dirty one also has a removable top here, so you can pull this mesh lining out and then just stick that in your washing machine. So that's really handy because it's stopping you from having to touch anything disgusting, which should be a plus point. If that's something that's putting you off, you don't come in contact with any more poo than what you normally would do as a parent, I promise. So this set altogether currently costs £41.99, and then you can add additional wipes as well if you want to, and if you add them to that order then you can save a little bit of money that way, which up front is a lot of money. Like it doesn't really matter like how much money you earn or anything like that. It's a lot of money to invest in something like this. But if you also think about how much you're going to spend like weekly on wipes and things like that, and you factor that all in as like a yearly cost, then I have stopped spending a lot of money on wipes. So as an example, the wipes that I used to use generally were the Aldi Mamia wipes, and I've just had a look online and you can get a box of 6 for £2.85. Now I'm trying to think about how many I would buy every month and that kind of thing, but it wouldn't surprise me if I could go through 2 of those boxes with the amount of children that I have, or sending them to nursery and things like that. So if I add up, so 2 times £2.85 per month and then times that by 12, actually comes out at £68.40, and that is per year. And you might buy a little bit less, you might buy a little bit more, but generally speaking these wipes are going to last me a lot longer than just a year, so I feel like it makes sense all around. Now if budget is still an issue, one thing that you can do is do a do-it-yourself with these, and I think most of us as parents have these lying around the house, and these are just like clippable boxes. I would recommend them with a clip because then your kids can't get in them as easily, but all you would need to do is find some terry cloth fabric. So this is terry cloth, and this is what was used originally as reusable nappies way back when. It's quite easy to get hold of. You can buy it from like fabric stores, or you can buy it in bulk online, and you could cut your own squares yourself, and then all you need to add is water and some essential oils. So you could buy a couple of these, so 1 for clean, 1 for dirty. I'd recommend getting a bigger one for the dirty ones because when you're chucking them in they're less neatly stacked, if you know what I mean. And then you could get those essential oils from like Holland & Barrett or online, as I've mentioned before, and you could probably do the kit for a lot cheaper. So if this is something that matters to you and something that you would like to try and do, then definitely Definitely don't let cost be something that puts you off, but give it a go and see how you get on with it and see if it works for you, because I can really recommend it. Now obviously when it goes to cleaning these, that is one thing that people get really put off by, because you get a lot of like, oh, that's poo that you're putting in your washing machine, or isn't it dirty, do you have to touch poo a lot, is it gross, does it smell, that kind of thing. So in terms of the smell, the essential oils really help with stopping any pongs. So we've never had any issues of any rooms smelling like poo, or when I open the box I don't smell poo, I just smell like lemon and tea tree, and that is the honest truth. And then when it comes to your washing machine and like the dirt in there and things like that, the one thing that you need to think about is that generally speaking, if your baby had like a blowout, you know, like a poo-nami, a poo explosion where they poo all up the back and it's on their vest and it's on their like baby grow, it's probably on your jeans, do you throw all of those things away? Because I personally never have done, because I feel like that's completely wasteful. What I would tend to do is rinse off, or like even scrape off some of the worst stuff, and then I would stick it in the washing machine and I would use something in there that would remove all of the germs. And you just have to think quite logically, because when you're putting underwear in the wash and all sorts in the wash, there's going to be germs and bacteria on them anyway, and you just need to make sure that you regularly clean your washing machine, which we all do anyway, and use something like this. So my favourite thing, and I've used a few things while I've been doing this, is nappy sand, because not only does it seem to really remove stains quite well, but it also gets rid of all the germs in your laundry. It works at 30 degrees, you just add it to your wash, it brightens white, so it's really handy for these wipes, and it's like great at getting everything clean again. So I regularly have this in stock now and I absolutely love it. So I use that, and then I also just use a normal detergent just to do the actual cleaning process of like foaming up and getting them nice and clean. As for washing them, what I do personally, if they're particularly stained, I will put them on quite a hot wash. So say at 60, I will add some nappy sand, I will add my detergent as I mentioned, and I'll put them on a quick wash for an hour. So it's not too much energy or electricity or anything like that, but it's really doing a good job. But as nappy sand mentions, it does work at 30 degrees, so if you don't have any that are particularly that soiled, then you could put them on a lower wash, but a quick wash is all it's ever needed for me. And then because you go on to soak them afterwards, you don't need to worry about drying them. You can dry them out on the line, on the radiator. I haven't actually put them in the dryer because I didn't want them to shrink, but when they're damp, you could just then go straight into soaking them with your water and essential oil solution, and then they are ready to use. So all it really takes is about an hour to get a big clean batch ready again. So I've never run out, and touch wood, I never do. So that is how it all works. So what I need to do now, as I've already done a wash load, I'm gonna put them in the clean box and get them ready for you, so I can show you how that all works, and then hopefully that will tell you everything that you need to know. So I'm now in our bathroom and I'm gonna fill up my box of cheeky wipes so they're ready to use for the rest of the week. So this is our fresh box here, and as you can see, you open it up, oh, excuse the noise, and there are some fill lines here. So there is a fill line here and then a higher one here, so that is depending on how many wipes you put in here. So I've got an extra bulk load, so I'm going to put some extra water in this time because I tend to soak them all at the same time, so I've got a big pack ready to go. And what I'm going to do, just with some cold water, is I'm going to fill this up until it hits that second line. And then now that's done, I'm just going to get the fresh wipe essential oil mix and I'm going to pop this in to the tub. So I just put a few drops in and give that a little swirl around, and then I put my wipes in. So as I mentioned, I have quite a big pile of wipes here, and what I tend to have to do is put them in one way first, and then I press down so the wipes soak everything up, and then I take them out again and I put them back in and push them down again, so all the water are soaked into those wipes that were at the top because they're now at the bottom. And then if there is any excess, I will always just give it a bit of a squeeze and pour it out just in case there is anything, which is not today. And then these are just fantastic. They're like nice and moist, they're not dripping wet, so you can wipe and clean things really easily, and they just work so so well. They smell really nice, and I've noticed as well that we have a lot less like irritable bums when it's been particularly bad teething time, for example. They just work really well. So that is now my box of wipes ready to go, and this should last me about a week, sometimes less depending on how like horrific nappies have been or how messy we've gotten. And I just keep them in Stan's bedroom under the bed, and I will show you the setup there as well so you can see how everything works. So now what I'm going to do is do the mucky wipes, and again there is a fill line in here, and all you do is fill up to that fill line, pop your essential oils in, and then this is just good to go really. So this is our little nappy setup here, and we don't have like a changing table anymore, not least because this room doesn't really lend to it, but also because at Stan's age now he's more likely to try and like climb and crawl off it. So we have a changing mat under the cot here. These are our fresh wipes, which are all ready to go. And then this is our dirty box, which is currently empty, so I don't need to show you that. And then in here we just have like nappies, pull-ups, we've got cream, bum creams, that kind of thing. So nappies, generally speaking, we use Aldi or Pampers just because we like those the best, but all of them work quite fine. We've all got our favourites, haven't we? So that is what we do. And I would tend to come up here and change his bum just because everything loves up here and it's not too much extra effort. And if you wanted to, you could get an upstairs and a downstairs like box or setup if you wanted to, but this works fine for us and we don't have any problems with it whatsoever. And now what we tend to do is just use flannels downstairs in the kitchen, as I mentioned, and then this will just be used for wiping dirty faces upstairs if there are any like toothpaste marks, or like they've come upstairs and they've got like a chocolate smile or something. So it just depends, but we use them for all sorts of things. So before I wrap this video up, the last thing I want to do is a demo. So before I show you my hand, it's going to look a bit gross, but it's not poo, and be thankful I didn't use Nutella. So the best thing that I could think of that would be akin to like pasty baby poo, particularly like the newborn stuff that's like can be quite sticky, is peanut butter, the crunchy kind. I've just put it on my hand so you can see. Now this stuff is really sticky, and I know from experience that you can use several wipes, like disposable ones, to get this off. But if I use a cheeky wipe, because they're textured, you can really get loads of it off. And I just need to use one. I just fold it over, and then my hand is not only perfectly clean, but it smells nice and it's got essential oils on, so it's nice and like soothed and not irritated, and we're done. So that's one wipe. And if you really wanted to, you could obviously scrape the excess off into the bin, but generally speaking everything comes off quite easily. And what I like to do is use a nappy to kind of scrape everything off properly before I go in with a wipe, because then you're getting less in your washing machine and that kind of thing. But they're just fantastic and I can't recommend them enough. So that is the end of this video. I really hope you found it useful. I'm not trying to preach to anyone, I'm not going to judge anyone if they don't decide to do these, because it's entirely up to you. But I just thought if I could make a video that might be really useful or change a few people's minds about doing cloth and making some better changes, then that could only ever really be a good thing. I really want to keep this video like a positive video. I don't want it to be about making people feel bad or others judging others. I just want it to be like a useful video. So I really hope that you found it like interesting and it gave you a bit of food for thought. But thank you so much for watching, and if you've got any questions, just leave them down below and I'll be sure to answer them for you. And have a lovely day whatever you're up to, and I'll see you very soon.